A number of specialized meetings, and I'd like to highlight these because I believe these are very important things we're doing more of now. We're really supporting forums that allow for structured and interactive review of the state of professional practice. We had a very successful China Day in Geneva. Over 50 Chinese experts came. This had a huge roll-on effect in China. We've had the Ibero-America Day here, followed by the Fiesta Mexicana, which also set a high standard for interaction in a social setting. We've had the Health, Wellbeing, and HIA in New Zealand. Again, a specialized event, but bringing in practitioners who had a common interest. We've had the 2 special symposiums on climate change and impact assessment in Denmark and the United States, with a 3rd plan for China later this year. And then we have the Strategic Environmental Assessment event happening in Prague in the fall. We heard an announcement about that. But these events complement the annual meetings, and I think we need to selectively identify important themes, and we need to figure out how these can be part of our program and part of strengthening our professional ability to learn about emerging issues, to learn about practices, and to disseminate best practices, even in areas where they're emerging, such as in climate change. Overall, I think we're challenged with 3 big themes. Integration, how do we make things more integrated? Innovation, I don't think that's a challenge. I think it's structuring innovation that seems to be an issue with this group. And then the very, very major challenge of implementation. We can have the best theories, we can have the best methodologies, we can have the best laid plans, and in fact, the best studies, whether they're strategic studies, project-specific studies, health impact, social impact, human rights impact. If we cannot translate studies into action on the ground, realizing them through implementation, we are not truly effective decision-making. We're not truly dealing with environment and social impacts and risks. What we're doing is doing extremely interesting studies, and they don't go further than that. Expanding engagement with branches and affiliates. Over the last year as president-elect, I thought it would be useful to try to get a better understanding as to what was going on with the branches and affiliates, and also dealing with large numbers of people who were members outside the specific context of an IAI-sponsored event. So I participated as a keynote speaker in the regional workshop on EIA in Asia, which was hosted by the Asian Development Bank. I participated in the IAIA Italia meeting. I went to Portugal and participated in the annual meeting of the Portuguese Association for Impact Assessment. The World Bank, where I work, sponsored the Climate Change and Impact Assessment meeting held in Washington. I also had the honor of going and speaking at the Spanish Association for Impact Assessment, followed by the International Health Impact Assessment Congress. And I think this was very transformational. I had always believed that there had to be more to IAIA than the annual meeting, and that we had to have full advantage of this tremendous richness that's out there. And I think my participation in these meetings confirmed this. There are things that are happening at the regional, at the national, and subnational level, which truly complement the work we do at the international level. There is a continuum of experience, a continuum of interest, and a continuum of opportunities to share knowledge, both from a very local level, where people are actually normally really dealing with specific problems, all the way to the global level, where we're dealing at a very strategic level, formulating new ideas. So in my view, one of the things that IA needs to do to prosper, to grow, and to develop is to really move into a full partnership with the branches and affiliates. And clearly this is not a quick process. It is a process which will have to take time. But first of all, we need to view this as a system of equal partnerships in which all parties can make significant contributions. Everyone's got something to offer. We sit in different positions, and some of the most exciting things are happening at the local level, the subnational level, the national level. This needs to move up, and some of the things that we do at the international level need to move parties may be different. So we have a high percentage of overlap, but in fact not complete overlap. And I think that's actually valuable to be able to have a range of interests and a range of mandates. Quite clearly, the last year with the rollout of IA Connect, it means that we finally are able to go global, and I think we need to really use this interactive process to strengthen the relationship with the parties that are in the branches and affiliates, including the Washington branch, which I'm a member of. We should basically look at better understanding the interests of the branches and affiliates so that IAIA at the global level can better target the services that they think are important. But of course, these have to be services where we have a comparative advantage. We also need information to flow up from the branches and affiliates to enrich our work, and of course, I think IA Connect can prove to be a vehicle for that. The benefits of IA affiliation at the institutional level and the individual level need to be much more clearly defined and effectively disseminated. So people know if they are members of IA through an affiliate, that they understand what benefits they get. Why is this a good thing for me? Why do I put out that extra increment of money? And clearly, this whole issue of cost is not going to go away. We have to recognize that we're in a world where we have a wide range of incomes, a wide range of ability to pay, and we need to come up with a formula which is clear, simple, pragmatic, and equitable. So with regard to the branches and affiliates in full partnership, I think this type of partnership could result in a stronger and more dynamic set of complementary organizations and really improve our professional practice worldwide. In terms of IA, what is the goal that I see? First of all, we've got to get between Pueblo and Porto. And I see that we've got 5 key things to do. One, we need to maintain a steady course as an organization in very difficult financial times. All of you have seen the types of financial issues we've had for the last 2.5 years now. These are not going to go away immediately, so we need to recognize this, be prudent, be conservative, but not stop innovation and stop evolving. Clearly, we need to promote the adaptation and expanded use of the IA Connect because that gives us a new global forum. We need to maintain the momentum of the sections. The sections are vibrant, the sections are enthused, they're energetic, and they're actually going places. We do not want to dampen that. We need to figure out how to make that even move faster. You've heard my views on this whole question of reviewing and expanding engagement between IA Central, the branches, the affiliates, and I would add related bodies that may be out there and appropriate to engage with. We do have this whole question of how does IA engage in Rio +20, which will be held immediately after our meeting in Porto. For those of you who have not studied the flight plans, you can go non-stop from Porto via Lisbon to Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo quite easily, so you may have a really exciting trip next year. In the end, I would like to see over the certainly medium term IA as having a goal of not just being a global community of practice for impact assessment, but one that really operates at the international, regional, and national level through our expanded engagement with institutions and professionals worldwide. I appreciate the trust that you have put in me to serve as your president, and I look forward to engaging with you broadly and consistently. I look forward to seeing you in Portugal again. And for those of you who are interested in the work of the IFC and World Bank, we do have a session this afternoon. I see these things as separate